that's another move in MMA. But watch this there. He leans over for the right uppercut, comes screw shot, but this is the best shot. Watch this, he adjusts his feet. Now that's good boxing skills.
That's amazing. That's against
a
world champion. That's one of the biggest knockouts in UFC history in 13 seconds.
Adjusts his feet and then brings him onto shots. So his boxing skills aren't bad at all. And because he's got very small gloves on, what are they, 4 ounces or whatever, then these punches obviously hurt. The kid's got power, no question. But the big question is, what can he do differently against Floyd Mayweather that no one else has? That's the big question. Let's have a look here. There he is, there, and he gets his hand raised. What can he do differently that all the other boxers have failed to do? Because he's got to find that big shot from somewhere. He's got 12 rounds to do it. He'll take a lot of punishment, I think, and a lot of stick in the process. But yeah, he's got the chance of landing that one shot. But you land it on Floyd Mayweather, no one else has yet. It's very difficult.
You look at some of those names that he's come up against and beaten: Diego Brandao, Max Holloway, Eddie Alvarez, we saw there, Nate Diaz, who we saw there, and Jose Aldo, as I mentioned, who he polished off in 13 seconds. He says he's Mystic Mac. He says he's Mystic Mac because in the dressing room prior to that fight, he told everybody, it's on tape, 13 seconds, I'll finish him off. And this is a guy who was undefeated for 10 years, one of the biggest names in MMA.
Yeah, he's a tremendous showman, isn't he? He knows how to get under his opponent's skins, and that's what he's done on several occasions. But listen, you know, like I say, I don't know MMA, but I know boxing. Well, I think I do anyway, and he's got some decent boxing skills, but he's got to turn that then with those bigger gloves on, and he's got to lure Mr. Floyd Mayweather onto one of those shots, or he can actually go after him very aggressively. But so many boxers have tried that and they've failed. Maybe it is to sit back a little bit and try and make Floyd Mayweather miss and fall short, and then try and counter him. But that's going to be difficult because he's so quick with his feet in and out. That's the problem.
Talking of boxing ability, Gabriel Clark's got some more alongside him in Ant Crawler.
Yeah, great to have Ant Crawler here. The reason for the little delay now is Conor McGregor apparently is over the road just getting changed, so we're expecting the Irishman imminently. A big Manchester United fan next to me, Ant Crawler. This atmosphere, dare I say it, is better than Old Trafford at times last season at home.
In MMA.
Yeah, he's a tremendous...
Maybe, but nothing like United away support. But no, this is very special. I think the only thing close to this is some of the weigh-ins we used to see for Ricky Hatton when he'd take over 30,000 Mancunians or Brits to a fight, and you see the weigh-in, but the door crowd in the weigh-in. But this is unbelievable, unbelievable.
I mean, obviously, it's the fight the world wanted to see, is clearly what Mayweather and McGregor camps are telling us. Just why do you think that is? What is it that has really captured the imagination about this?
I think it's the old boxing versus MMA.
The unknown.
That's it, it's the unknown. And but Conor's been it off Canelo, Floyd's been it off Canelo, he's been off Shane Mosley, Madonna and so on. And I know he's got a little bit older, but it's very hard to make a case for McGregor in a boxing ring.
We're good to get your opinion on tomorrow night, because I know you obviously have followed Chris Eubank Jr.'s career very closely. You're going to be with us as well on ITV Box Office. But you know Arthur Abraham, don't you? You've watched him at very close quarters.
Yeah, I've been up close up in the corner, in the opposition corner, when Paul Smith challenged Arthur Abraham for his world title twice. And I've seen him close up, and I was also over in Germany last month, and I was speaking to Yuri, Arthur's trainer, and he says Arthur Abraham, he's looking as good for this as what he has in a good few years. And that's exciting to hear.
Not for Chris Eubank Jr.
Not for Chris Eubank Jr., but at the same time, speaking to Junior before, he looks in great shape, he always does. He seems in a good place mentally, and he likes the challenge, and there's a very lot at stake with what the winner goes on to do here tomorrow night.
Yeah, you mentioned obviously Paul Smith. He defeated Paul Smith in those 2 fights. He's obviously been in as well with some major names, Froch, Kessler, Ward. How much is that experience going to count for tomorrow night against a fighter in Eubank Jr. whose CV is nowhere near as good as that?
There's no denying Arthur Abraham is coming to the tail end of his career, but that experience counts for an awful lot. And you talk about those names, your Carl Froches, and you know, and so on and so on, and you tell me not one of them will say it's been an easy night's work, even the one who beat Arthur Abraham. So that's why he asked so many questions of Chris Eubank Jr. Personally, I fancy Chris Eubank Jr. to win on points, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has a few rocky moments in the fight, and that's the kind of feel that he needs at this stage.
And briefly, what's your reading of this weight issue that Abraham had this afternoon? It took him 2 hours to make the weight, just inside the deadline. A serious issue or not?
When I was here and he was just under 2 pounds over, I thought there's no way he can lose that. But then I looked at him and I thought he doesn't look dry in any way. And if he was dry, he was, you know, dehydrated at that point, and then to lose another 2 pounds, it would have been very, very hard to do. And he managed to do it. So I don't see it's weakened him too much. Listen, it's not ideal, but I genuinely believe, and I heard that he was on weight all week, and I genuinely believe he's just been going off scales, and he's gone off the wrong scales, and they've not matched up, and that's what I believe.
And a final word, Lee Selby fights tomorrow night, of course, as well. Lee Selby defends his world title. A frustrating time for him against Barros a few months ago, but he's got that match on now. Just give us your opinion about that.
Lee Selby, I'm sure it's been well documented. It's a credit to him that he's even fighting tomorrow night with the tragedy of losing his mother this week. But for me, Lee Selby, pound for pound, is one of the very best, if not the best fighter in Britain, in my opinion. He's certainly in the top 3, and I expect him to shine tomorrow night. I know there's a lot of pressure on him. First, he's a good fighter, a very good challenger. He's a mandatory challenger as well, and he sees this as his big opportunity. But I see, speaking to Lee before, he looks well after the weigh-in, a huge featherweight, and I see him shining tomorrow night and putting out a statement.
And do you see the possibility of Carl Frampton? I think that's what Lee would love next.
Yeah, I certainly do, and it'd be a great fight, the Battle of Britain, between two of the very best featherweights in the world. I know Carl's got his own business to take care of, but I'm sure it's the fight he'd welcome, and I know it's the fight that Lee wants. It's certainly, if I could pick any fight between two British fighters, that might just be it.
Ready for the show?
I am, I can't wait.
Let's bring it on. Back to Sam.
Tomorrow night's show looks pretty good as well. These guys in here this evening waiting for Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather Jr. We're waiting for Chris Eubank Jr. and Arthur Abraham tomorrow night. There are belts on the line in all of our live fights as we build towards that big matchup. Around about 10:30 they should be in the ring, undoubtedly the champion's biggest test. And a reminder of exactly how you can get hold of all of that by going to our website at itvboxoffice.com. Well, Sheffield's Kid Galahad is the first into the ring tomorrow night. And when you look at some of the other fights, I mean, this is another big one. 6:30, it's getting us started. It's the vacant IBF Intercontinental Featherweight title. Kid Galahad from Sheffield against Mexico's Jose Cayetano. He weighed in at 125 pounds, 4 ounces. He says he's ripped and ready to go. And this guy, Kid Galahad, as he says himself, you bring your popcorn to watch.
Yeah, I really rate Kid Galahad. He's got some lovely skills. He was very good down at Super Bantam, wasn't he? He was a former British, Commonwealth and European Super Bantamweight champion. He's moved up to featherweight now, and you know what? He could just be the dark horse in that featherweight division. He's 22-0, 13 KOs, but he's very good at hitting and not getting hit. From the Ingle camp, famous Brendan Ingle gym up in Sheffield, run by Dominic and John Ingle now. And Kid Galahad, for me, like I say, could be the dark horse in that division. Wants a world title fight, thinks he should be up there boxing for world titles, and I don't think he'll be too far away from getting a world title shot, Kid Galahad.
The WBA Continental Super Lightweight title is on the line as well. I was just having a little look around earlier. I saw Robbie Davis Jr., who was having a chat with Gabriel at some stage. He's taking on the Pole, Mikhail Sirivaka. Davis Jr. is undefeated, but this is stepping up a notch, isn't it?
Yeah, he's in against a pretty sturdy opponent in Sirivaka. That's him from Poland, but he's actually having his
first... I'll give you some vodka, you'll be able to say it much better after that.
Absolutely, but he's having his first contest outside of Poland and the first one in the UK, so who knows, it could be a rabbit in the headlights, let's see. But Robbie Davies Jr., he's going great, 15-0, and it's his third defence of the title. And domestically, it's a great division to be in. Josh Taylor has just had a great win against O'Hara Davis. Tyrone Nurse is chomping at the bit, British champion. And so, yeah, Robbie Davies Jr., he's in the mix, and there should be some big domestic fights lying ahead, but he's got to get over tomorrow night.
His dad was a colourful character as well, wasn't he? Commonwealth Games 76, I think. This is his first outing since January. Does that make a difference?
No, not really. Obviously, you probably would have wanted one in between, but it just depends on how much, as he stayed in the gym. I believe he has been, I believe he's had a lot of sparring for this one. So yeah, in an ideal world, he probably would have wanted one in between, but hey, he's got it all to box for still. It's 15-0, and listen, he's looking at bigger things. This is a good sturdy test for him, this Polish boxer, but he's looking at the bigger names in the division. He knows he's got to perform well tomorrow night, and I'm sure he'll do that.
Everyone was very lively at the press conference yesterday, that is for sure. Martin J. Ward was one of those as well. He takes on Anthony Kakachi for the vacant Commonwealth Super Featherweight title tomorrow night. And this is a boy that Carl Frampton really rates. Yes,
he does indeed. And I've done a lot of training with Martin Ward, because obviously I'm a GB coach up at Sheffield Olympic boxing squad, and Martin Ward was on that squad. So I know all about Martin. It's his third defence. If he wins this, he wins the Lonsdale belt outright. And again, good division domestically. There's Liam Walsh, there's Stephen Smith, who's class and quality. And at super featherweight, remember, you've got one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world, WBO champion Vasyl Lomachenko, the Ukraine. Gervonta Davis, the IBF champion, just beat Liam Walsh. So it's a great division, but Martin Ward wants that Lonsdale belt, and then he'll be looking at those bigger names in the division.
Yeah, itvboxoffice.com for all the details. And just behind the big Eubank Jr. and Abraham fight tomorrow, of course, is Lee Selby looking to retain his IBF featherweight title when he takes on Jonathan Victor Barros. This is a fight that was originally scheduled for January, before it emerged that Jonathan Victor Barros failed a hepatitis B test for the Nevada State Commission. He then challenged that. There's been all sorts of wranglings. It's been a long time coming for Lee Selby to get this shot.
Yeah, his opponent, Jonathan Barros, is a mandatory challenger from Argentina. All the Argentine boxers and South Americans are very, very tough. He's only been stopped once in his 4 defeats. You know, he's age 33, it's probably his last chance, but Lee Selby is a quality boxer. He just needs probably a little bit more power in his work, but nevertheless, he hits and he moves, he makes his opponent miss and makes them pay.
Yeah, difficult week for him. We do wish him all the best. Let's go ringside again. Gabriel Clark is one of tomorrow night's stars.
Yes, Robbie Davies Jr. has joined us. Robbie, great to see you. I know, soaking up this atmosphere, an atmosphere like none other that you've known, with a boxing ring in the middle of an arena and no boxing to come?
With all this, I've never seen a spectacle like it for boxing. I don't know if it's McGregor getting them out here or if it's Floyd himself, but they're turning out. I've never seen anything like this for a press conference.
What do you make of this as a fight in terms of MMA versus boxing? And listen, in a way, the future of boxing's at stake, isn't it? Yeah. What if McGregor was to win?
That's what it is like. Because of Floyd Mayweather being the best ever and McGregor being his pro debut and getting a shot at him, if it was that one-sided though, where that many people thought Floyd, like being a boxer, I do personally think Floyd will win easy, box his head off, maybe, probably not get the knockout, but if it didn't have that if and but, it wouldn't be a spectacle the way it is. Conor McGregor in the cage is a knockout artist, and the gloves aren't much bigger, so the if is always going to be there.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, most people you talk to favour Mayweather, but there's doubt. There's an element of doubt creeping in maybe by the day, because, dare I say it, McGregor's been the more impressive over the last few days, at least the more strident.
I missed the last night's press conference, but the earlier two, McGregor's really put it on Floyd and the rest of his team. He's even give them a bit of stick as well, but obviously I think tonight's going to be the finale, leaving it all for London. But I just, every day I wake up and one day I'll say Floyd and the next day I'll say McGregor.
Really? You will say McGregor?
There's always that possibility. He's the bigger man, he's the bigger frame. When you see them going head to head, he looks a lot more filled out than what Floyd is, and where he's fallen Floyd little and things like that, that is because he's so much bigger. On fight night, I think McGregor could have a stone maybe on him, but obviously there's a lot of other fighters out there, the best boxers we've ever had in this era, and Floyd's made them look simple.
There's never been a show like this in terms of a build-up. What do you think that these 4 days will count for in terms of the fight itself?
Sorry, say that again.
What do you think these 4 days will count for in terms of the fight itself, and maybe a switch in psychology, that sort of thing? We talk a lot about the hype in boxing and in MMA.
Well, McGregor has built a lot of hype over it. Obviously, the way it's all made out, but for anyone that knows boxing and things like that, I think the majority of boxing people will be hoping for Floyd to win. It's more the outsiders that want Floyd to fail, that will want Floyd to fall short, but my opinion, Floyd will come out on top. That's the way I'm feeling today anyway.
Robbie, we look forward as well to you fighting tomorrow night. We might chat to you about a bit later about that. But you get the sense in the arena that something is brewing and that the protagonists are close to arriving.
Yeah, we've been getting that sense for a little while, haven't we? But the tension is rising inside the SSE Wembley Arena. And it's not long now before we see these two giants of combat sports. The man who is 49-0, Floyd Mayweather Jr., looking for his 50 against Conor McGregor, the current UFC lightweight world champion, a two-weight world champion, the first man to ever do that in UFC history. And it was fascinating to hear from Ant Crawler and from Robbie Davis and their views on this fight that's upcoming on August 26th in the brand new MGM T-Mobile Arena on the Las Vegas Boulevard. But this is a fight that is different for Conor McGregor, not an octagon, it's a ring. 10-ounce boxing gloves, 12 3-minute rounds. That's a lot to adapt to.
Yeah, it is a lot to adapt to because he's used to 5 rounds and a maximum of 5 minutes in the rounds that he's been boxing, and a lot of that he could be on the floor, holding and whatever, and grappling as they do in MMA. So it's a totally different discipline. But I've spoke to people that have watched him spar and said that he's shaped up not too bad. But I think what has crossed a lot of people's mind here, Sam, is that if things aren't going his way and he is being beaten comprehensively, you know, it's a one-way traffic sort of thing, will he revert to a natural instinct of trying to probably sweep Mayweather off his feet? I think he's got to watch what he's doing. Like I say, his biggest problem is controlling those emotions, because Mayweather does frustrate his opponents, and that may just well happen here. But he's got to watch what he's doing, McGregor, because I'm sure McGregor will go through his mind at some stage. It'll go through his mind where you'll see an opportunity, an opening where he could take Mayweather to the ground. And will he do it? You never know with Conor McGregor.
You keep your eyes on Ray Flores, by the way. He's the guy towards the left of your screen right now. He's very minuscule. He's just outside the ring. And when he goes in the ring next time, we reckon that's our cue for things kicking off here inside the SSE Arena at Wembley. Getting in the mind of an opponent. That's what these fighters are really very good at. They do it incredibly well. We've seen that this week. We've seen the needle between the two of them really ramp up over the course of the last few days. To be honest with you, I thought maybe last night it went a little bit too far. I thought they were sailing close to the wind. Maybe yesterday they just strayed over the edge a little bit, but prior to that it was entertaining fair, and it was building the hype of the fight.
Well, some people may say that, but at the end of the day, I like to see this type of build-up as long as there's no punches thrown, because then that puts boxing in a bad light and people go, oh, those boxers again, they don't know how to control themselves. You know, we don't want to see violence. So I actually like all the build-up. No tables being thrown either, right? Too right, no tables, nothing being thrown at each other, no point. And I think they've restrained each other, haven't they? So I think they've been okay under those circumstances. So I quite like the build-up. Yeah, it's been trash talk. They're waiting for reactions from each other when they're saying certain things. But for me, that's okay. Anything really goes to a certain degree, but as long as no punches are thrown where people can point the finger and down boxing, that's what I'm concerned about, and I think they've been very well at doing that.
Yeah, the rumour is, though, that if Conor McGregor strikes Floyd Mayweather, makes physical contact with him over the course of this tour, he gets fined every single time, and it comes out of his purse, which is substantial, by the way. We might move on to that in the next few moments. But how concerned are you by what Ant Crawler was discussing with Gabriel, that potential damage to the sport of boxing should Conor McGregor beat all the odds and take out Floyd Mayweather Jr.?
It will be the ultimate. I can't think of a bigger upset in boxing history. I really can't. Maybe Muhammad Ali, I think he fought a wrestler, didn't he, back in around
Japan, yeah.
mid-70s. I mean, it's along those scales, but I think in today's boxing it would be the biggest upset for the last probably 40 or 50 years that I can recall. I couldn't think of a bigger upset than probably the Japanese boxer beating Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
the wrestler.
That was mixed rules as well, though, wasn't it? They were wrestling on the floor, there were legs everywhere. That's not going to happen
Well,
this
the rules
time.
were modified, weren't they? And apparently Inoka, his name was Inoka, the Japanese boxer, he was on the floor a lot of the time kicking Muhammad Ali's shins, and it was a 15-round draw, and the Japanese said that their man won, the boxing fans said Muhammad Ali won, so they probably discussed it whether they could modify the rules here, and they've said no way, it's got to be a boxing match, which obviously McGregor has agreed to, but it's going to be difficult for him, like I say, to control the emotions if it's not going his way.
He's also got to be in tip-top shape. We've seen him, we know what he looks like. His physique is superb. He's always looked in top condition. But going from fighting five-minute rounds to 3 12-minute rounds, that's a major difference. It's a test of stamina. We saw in one of the fights at 170, admittedly, against Nate Diaz, that he was puffing a little bit and he didn't really have the cardio that maybe he needed. He'll have to have worked on that prior to getting into the ring with someone as durable as Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Slightly unfair observation, because at the end of the day an MMA contest isn't a boxing match, so you can't really compare the two in terms of fitness.
So what's the difference then?
Well, the difference is with the MMA, obviously there's a lot of grappling on the floor that I've seen from the bouts. It's a different discipline. There is boxing actually on the feet, yes, but I should imagine the majority of the work is on the floor. Now that takes a different. If you look at the physiques of a lot of MMA boxers, they're slightly different to professional boxers in that there's more muscle on the legs, they're a little bit more muscular in their body because they've got to hold and they've got to grapple. With boxing, a lot of boxers are very thin-legged, big on top. The hit and movement, speed of movement on the feet is absolutely crucial in boxing, and that's what Floyd Mayweather has specialised on the whole of his career.
And a lot of it is instinctive as well. And I just wonder whether or not Conor McGregor, being a different style, a unique contender, might just sort of throw Floyd Mayweather off a little bit because he's expecting something that isn't going to come.
Well, at the end of the day, a lot of people will be thinking, how's this one going to pan out? So, for me, we know what Floyd Mayweather's all about. His movement's great, his speed, he's got decent power, his hand speed is exceptional. But what's Conor McGregor going to do? How's he going to box? Because we've never seen, this is why the big question mark, isn't it? We've never seen him box before, really.
We've seen him punch pretty hard.
We've seen him punch pretty hard, but not in a boxing ring, not with bigger gloves, so it's going to be very different. And the big question is, what is he going to do? Is he going to tear after Mayweather and try and close him down? That's a tactic you could use, but so many other boxers have done that and come off second best. Or does he wait a little bit on the outside? He's got a longer reach, maybe jab, try and draw the lead of Mayweather and then counter him. It's going to be very difficult. That's a way of boxing Mayweather, but you've got to remember, Mayweather is the very best there is. So it's going to be difficult either way, whichever way he chooses, he's got problems.
And how many really can say over the course of that 21-year career, 18 years as a world champion, have really caught Floyd Mayweather Jr. cleanly?
Well, I remember he boxed Jose Castillo. He had 2 fights against Castillo, the great Mexican. I remember Castillo came very close to beating him. Oscar De La Hoya, many people thought Oscar De La Hoya won the contest.
You didn't know, did you?
No,
I
didn't. I was ringside, and I thought Oscar De La Hoya, although he did well on the front foot going forward, he missed the target too often for me. And Mayweather, this is why Mayweather is such a great fighter. He can box at distance, but he's very good on the inside. He's very good on the ropes, the way he brings that left shoulder around to protect his chin. He's a deceptively good boxer on the inside.
Okay, here we go. The fight that transcends combat sports. Look at the interest, look at the clicks, look at the likes and the retweets. This is next level. We've had Brooklyn, we've had crazy nights in Los Angeles, absolutely wild in Toronto. Let's see what London has got. Here's your MC for tonight. It's Mr. Ray Flores.
I'm gonna stay at the top, do what I want to, because when you speak boxing, you're speaking Mayweather.
I'm gonna be ruthless again. My fist is just gonna break his whole face, and that's it.
You got MMA fighters calling me out. Man, stay in your lane.
Let's not kid ourselves here who the big star is at this show. Got me, a slick, handsome Irish kid, and has climbed to the top of the game quicker than anyone else has done it.
This is not like a normal fight.
It's big, big
business.
Conor McGregor has said he will now turn all of his attention to fight only one man, and that is Floyd Money Mayweather.
I'm always looking to make history every single day.
The first man ever to hold 2 titles simultaneously.
And here we are again, more history.
This just puts it even more in stone. No one's even came close. I'll be immortalized after this.
No fighter in history has done what Floyd Mayweather has done.
All I ever thought about was winning. So that's all I know.
When there's nobody there to separate, he's gonna break.
They fighting every day, they in the gym every day. These fighters still can't beat me.
When I hit a person, they don't escape.
It's not about who hit the hardest. It's about who has the will to win more.
I see it in my head, and then it happens. It's gonna be familiar, because I already know that I can face anything.
I know how to fight. I know how to win. I'm God-gifted.
I hold this entire game in the palm of my hand.
It's never personal for me. It's always business.
It's over before it even begins.
When it comes down to boxing, I'm the best at this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man is a 9-year pro, having dispatched of every opponent placed in front of him, having taken the world of mixed martial arts by storm. He has gone on to win world championships in 2 divisions. He is the pride of Dublin, Ireland.
Conor McGregor is a knockout artist. Every time he touches guys, they fall.
No one in this boxing game knows what's coming. I'm gonna stop Floyd. You're all gonna eat your words. The whole world is gonna eat their words. Long, rangy, dangerous with every hand. I'm gonna teach him about true fighting. I'll be immortalized after this one.
This is why everyone's been talking about Conor McGregor. It's all over.
This kid's the real deal.
Oh, big shot from McGregor. That's it.
Conor McGregor.
When I had you to take part, I had to take over.
Tag left. He heard him with that.
Tonight belongs to Conor McGregor.
Oh! He slapped him just like that! Conor McGregor, featherweight champion of the world!
I'll get the second world title, raise them up consecutively.
He got tagged, he's hurt. That's it. The first man ever to hold 2 titles simultaneously.
Let's hope they clean their teeth.
26th at the T-Mobile Arena, live in Las Vegas on Showtime pay-per-view, brought to you by Mayweather Promotions. The Mayweather-McGregor World Tour. We have been in Los Angeles. We have been in Toronto. We've been in Brooklyn. But there is nowhere on the planet where we wouldn't be. This is a perfect place to end it. London, England. Two of the biggest stars in combat sports go head-to-head. Floyd Money Mayweather, the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, the pay-per-view kingpin. He takes on the UFC lightweight champion of the world, the notorious Conor McGregor. At this time, we want to bring up a man who's been a market leader when it comes to combat sports. He's been a part of countless groundbreaking pay-per-view events. He has worked alongside Mayweather Promotions. Please welcome the Executive Vice President and the General Manager of Showtime Sports, Mr. Steven Espinoza.
Good evening, welcome. This is, in fact, the final stop on the Mayweather-McGregor World Tour. 4 days, 96 hours, 6 private jets, 14,000 miles traveled, 4 sold-out venues, 3 countries, 50,000 fans, all to see this, the biggest fight in combat sports. Thank you, London, for turning out today. Thank you, Toronto, Los Angeles, and Brooklyn. A reminder, tickets go on sale July 24th, a week from Monday. You get your tickets, buy them early. If you're buying your pay-per-view, buy that early. We'll see you on August 26th.
Mr. Steven Espinoza, the Executive Vice President and General Manager of Showtime Sports. It's no secret that Conor McGregor has wreaked havoc in the world of mixed martial arts with 18 knockouts. A 2-division world champion in the UFC. This next gentleman has worked instrumentally with Conor McGregor. He has promoted many UFC events here in London and throughout the United Kingdom. London, please welcome the President of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, Mr. Dana White.
What's up, London? Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning, defending UFC lightweight champion of the world, the notorious Conor McGregor!
What's up, London? What an honor. What an honor for me to come over here and end this tour in a place so close to home, where I can hear so many of my countrymen and so many people that are on my side supporting me. We are 6 weeks out from the biggest fight in sporting history. And I'm 29 today. 29 years of age. 4 years ago, I want to speak to everyone in the crowd. 4 years ago, I fought in London at a place called the HMV Forum in front of about 500 people. 4 years ago. Now here I am, 6 weeks out, about to quadruple my net worth with 1/2 a fight. I'm in shock every single day I wake up. 1/2 a fight, let's get that right. I get to quadruple my net worth for 1/2 a fucking fight. Sign me up. You mean no one's gonna kick, no one's gonna knee, no one's gonna elbow, and it's against this little Brilham bitch? The pain of this man's hands in the cold is unbelievable. He's in fucking bits with them little bitch paws. Mate, you're 40. Get that fucking phone out of your hand like a fucking kid. A 40-year-old man. What the fuck? He was wearing high heels yesterday. Check the face-off picture from yesterday and check it from the day before. Proper fucking high heels that bitch was wearing. You should have worn them on the first fucking day, you stupid baldy twat.